right near that area. If you are anywhere in that part of the world, you've got to be in a safe place right now. In fact, we are getting, this is going to be a separate storm report from the National Weather Service. This was for the storm that impacted the Hamilton area, and of course that storm has since moved into the Huntsville television market. The National Weather Service reports houses damaged along County Road 32. That's going to be Marion County Road 32 in the Shiloh community, which is north of Hamilton, and they're attributing that to this possible tornado, Richard.
Yeah, we got some more damage we're going to relate to the viewers from County Road 29 up around the Hamilton area in Marion County. We're going to show those pictures here in a second of what has happened up there. And again, this storm, okay, so we have a report of that damage up there as well. So Spinks was talking about some of the damage we've got in Marion County. We've also got some more damage in that nearby area near Hamilton. So it looks like there was a tornado on there. It was a tornado emergency at the time. We had a confirmed tornado with that. So there's no doubt this damage we're talking about is based off of a tornado. And that storm has since moved on. It's over in parts of North Alabama. But we've got another storm of concern right here. And the storm itself is still showing signs of rotation, still showing signs of producing a tornado, but it looks much less impressive than it did back when it was in East Mississippi near Crawford. We had an incredible looking storm at that point. The storm does look like it's showing signs of weakening, but there's still strong evidence of rotation within that thunderstorm, which means there could still be a tornado on the ground very close to Kennedy and Millport on Highway 96 in southern Lamar County. As this storm moves northeast, it's going to eventually affect Vernon, and we could see an extension of the tornado warning into Fayette County at some point as well. So right now we have one tornado warning in our television market. That's for Lamar County and the northwest corner of Pickens County. I can tell you now, if you're watching us in Pickens County, most of the county is okay. It's just the northern and western tip of the county where we have some issues to deal with. And again, here's kind of wide perspective. This is what we're going to be dealing with for the next several hours. It's going to be a while before we get this through because we've got a line of supercell type of thunderstorms. You can count them all. One there, one there, one there, another one, and another one, all lined up here. And all of these are producing tornadoes, if not consistent. Yeah, all right, so we got some pictures from Columbus. Let's check this out quickly. And this is from the Salvation Army from downtown Columbus. And again, this is that lowering area we're watching. It has produced quite a bit of damage just south of Columbus, Mississippi. At one point, we were extremely concerned about Columbus. This thing is wrapped up. It's about as tight as it could be with rotation and the strong winds. But again, this is that lowering we're looking at, and that could be a tornado. You just can't see below it, see below that tree line. But again, we got a lot of cells to go before this is all over with this evening. All right, if you go under a tornado warning, Lamar County is currently under one. If you're under a tornado warning later tonight, this is what I want you to do. Get in the lowest floor of your home. You want to be in an interior room. Try to get in the middle of your house if you can. You got to stay away from windows. If a window breaks because of wind in a tornado, it's like shrapnel. It could be deadly to you. So you got to stay away from windows. Small interior room we're talking about in the middle of your house. Get in the middle of your house if you can. Lowest floor. You got to get out of a car. Stay out of a mobile home. If you live in a mobile home, seek shelter elsewhere. If you live in an apartment complex above the first floor, seek shelter elsewhere. You got to find that lowest part as close to the ground as you can get, if not underground. If you go under a tornado warning, that's what I want you to do. And also don't panic. All right, we're going to get you through this big event we're dealing with now. We got 70s to low 80s across Alabama. That being the case, it is very warm. It's also unstable. That warm air and the moisture combined with that causing these issues. We'll have dew points in the upper 60s to near 70 all across Alabama, and that is going to cause more issues through the overnight hours. So this event's not over with. Also, we have that south to southeast wind that creates that low-level shear, that wind shear that helps spin tornadoes down to the ground. What you want to see is the winds out of the west or southwest that decreases shear, and that causes the tornado threat to go down. Unfortunately, our winds are out of the south to southeast, and that component will create more issues for the rest of the overnight hours. Here's what's the setup over the past few hours. The center of low pressure itself is up here around Springfield, Missouri, well off towards the north. And in fact, that low pressure is usually too far away from Alabama to cause severe weather issues, but the system is so big itself that is causing issues across Alabama. Notice in the warm sector of that storm, you've got these supercell type thunderstorms that are developing into more of a line, broken supercell thunderstorms that again stretches from central Mississippi back up to North Alabama, and that includes some of our coverage area. Again, we're dealing with some big issues out there now. Lots of updates on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and our weather blog. You can go to WVUATV.com. Spinks has been updating the blog, getting more information on that. Again, WVUATV.com, click weather blog, lots of updates there. And Facebook and Twitter. If you have any pictures, send those to us. Send those through Facebook or Twitter. You send those also by email. I send those to weather@WVUATV.com, and also again Twitter, Facebook, easy ways to send that information to us. So what we're going to do is go back over to radar and see the latest what's happening with Lamar County, because you're under the gun in Lamar County. Before we do that, I want to show this, and again this is just to kind of set you up across Alabama. We've got this large tornado watch that includes Tuscaloosa and points north. That also includes places like Livingston, also Utah, and Jasper and Coleman and points northwest. Notice the red polygons that extend well back off into Mississippi. Now look at these, well back off towards the west as you go down towards the Jackson Metro down here. We got lots of tornado warnings lined up. These are tracking in our direction. So again, that's why we think there's a long way to go before this is over. We got that one tornado warning in our coverage area, and that's for Lamar County. Everybody else, if you're watching us for places like Tuscaloosa and Birmingham, you're okay right now. In fact, let's go look outside. I want to check out things with our Tuscaloosa Tyree camera and see how things are looking right now. And we're looking west towards that thunderstorm. Notice the shake to the camera. That's due to all the wind out there. The wind we're talking about, that's that fuel and wind shear that's we're dealing with. But here's your thunderstorm that's capable of producing a tornado. We're obviously too far away to see it. But if you look off towards the west, you probably see that dark ominous sky. That's where your tornado is possibly located. Again, there's University Boulevard towards downtown. I'll go back over to the maps, and again, here's that watch warning map. Here's the radar loop over the past several hours. Notice what happened this afternoon. We had this line of supercells quickly develop, and they're moving northeast. And notice how the progression of the line is very slowly. Watch it here, right here. It's progressing eastward. So once that line pushes southeast of us sometime late tonight, the severe weather threat will end. The severe weather threat tonight will slowly end from west to east or northwest to southeast. So again, Lamar County, Marion County, while you're under the gun right now, you'll likely see that threat end over the next hour or two. Spinks, you got any reports for us?
Well, we do note that in southern, in fact, southwestern Lamar County, clearly a debris ball, a debris signature is visible on our correlation coefficient product. So you know what that means. There's definitely a tornado down, spinning up debris into the atmosphere. In fact, the radar sees that and gives us this very strong indication, a virtual confirmation, if you will, that this tornado is on the ground now in southern Lamar County. So if you live anywhere to the north and west of Millport along State Highway 96, in fact, also if you live along State Highway 17 that runs from Vernon down to Millport, please be in a safe place right now. This is a tornado on the ground at this point. We see the confirmation on radar.
Yeah, that's something you don't want to see is that area where there's likely a debris. And in fact, I believe the National Weather Service is passing a note to us. Let's all right, let's check out that live video right now. This is from Columbus, Mississippi, and looks like it could be hailing there. Very heavy rain obviously falling. That looks like hailstones in the picture. And there's another view. And again, this is from some storm chasers that are, is that in Columbus? Are they in Columbus? Okay, so there's some storm chasers in Columbus. It looks like a lot of police ahead. Perhaps they've come across some damage in there, more than likely some tree damage, maybe some trees or power lines over the road, which means there's likely a tornado with this, or at least at that point when it's moving near the Columbus area. So again, we've got some problems we're dealing with this part of Lamar County that we have dealt with in Columbus, but now it's moving into Lamar County. But there's still other areas of rotation that are just off towards the west. And Spinks, where are some of those?
Yeah, Richard, we've actually got a confirmed tornado on the ground in the Jackson metro area, which is the state capital of Mississippi. In fact, this coming across just about 2 minutes ago, a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located near Richland. In fact, you see it right there in the middle of your screen, and that's moving off to the east at about 35 miles per hour. In fact, the National Weather Service in Jackson noting this is a particularly dangerous situation, tornado warning. We've also got another tornado warning just to the north in Leake and Madison counties in Mississippi. That storm continuing to move off to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour. And yet another storm. This is just a whole line of supercells, Richard, that are pretty much training to the northeast. But as Richard mentioned, this line of storms is going to continue moving off to the east and southeast over the coming hours. And right now in our viewing area, fortunately, we only have one tornado warning, and that's for northern portions of Pickens County. And the main concern now, though, is in southern Lamar County, just to the north of Millport along State Highway 17. Just an extremely violent couplet, and we still see the debris signature on our dual pole product. So if you know anyone along those areas, or perhaps if you're in those areas, you must be sheltered, preferably underground if you can be there right now. If you can't be underground, you've got to be in the lowest floor of your site-built house, away from windows in the interior portion, I should say.
Yeah, and here's that storm Spinks was talking about. Your area rotation is right here on the north side of Millport and Kennedy. Kennedy sits right there. There's Belk over in Fayette County. It looks like we've got a new tornado warning.
This is going to be a new tornado warning. It's continuing this tornado warning that's in Lamar County, but this is going to be for northern Fayette County and southern Marion County in western Alabama. This also includes the northeastern portion of Lamar County. So this would be, in fact, I'll go ahead and zoom out on the radar so you can see all of these communities that have just been issued under a new tornado warning. Winfield, Guin, Beaverton, also Glen Allen is included in this. Twin also included. A major portion of U.S. Highway 43 from roughly Fayette up to just north of Guin, that's going to be included in this new warning. And over the next several minutes, the tornado, or possible tornado, I should say, will be moving out of this old polygon into this new one, but it still includes Lamar County. So if you're in that county, still stay sheltered at this point. And the threat now is, for Lamar County, is going to be south of U.S. Highway 78, so south of Beaverton, south of Sulligent, and south of Gatman in Lamar County. Anywhere south of U.S. Highway 78 in Lamar County, you've got to be sheltered in your tornado-safe area right now. Ultimately, this will end up in Fayette and southern Marion counties. Richard, Marion County been under the gun quite a bit today.
Hey, you know, last Spinks we were talking about northern Marion County. We had a tornado emergency for that storm. That has moved over in the Huntsville market now. We got a new tornado warning. This is for the southern part of Marion County, northern portions of Fayette County. Yeah, Spinks was talking about. The rotation is right there. About to cross Highway 17 just south of Vernon. If you're watching us in Vernon, we want you in your safe place. In fact, the storm continues to track off towards the north and east at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. There's downtown Fayette. You are actually outside of the tornado warning polygon. It's just your north as the storm's moving northeast, kind of in this direction right here. Eventually, it's going to cross Highway 171 up here in northern Fayette County that runs to Winfield. So again, if you're watching us in Lamar County, much of Lamar County is under the gun with a storm. Eventually, the northern half of Fayette County, the southern portion of Marion County. After that, Winston County and northwest Walker County will be under the gun with this particular thunderstorm. So, yeah, we got a dangerous situation for a potential tornado near Vernon right here. It's going to be tracking northeast. Right now, it's crossing Highway 17 that runs through Vernon in Lamar County. Spinks, want to look at some rotation with this thunderstorm quickly. You know, not long ago the storm was producing a violent tornado So we're going to kind of look at the rotation with it now and see how that looks.
Wow, just an extremely violent couplet just to the south of Vernon. Of course, if you're in Vernon right now, you have got to be in a safe place. High Taji, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Kingville, also Crossville. Any of these communities, also Star, you are under the gun right now. If perhaps you're hearing this at the last minute, get to your tornado safe shelter right now. The radar continues to indicate just very violent rotation. And Richard, we do note we've got another storm that's behind this one, just south of Columbus. You know, Columbus just had this storm that's now in Alabama, but now we've got this other storm that's developed behind it, and we'll go ahead and take a look at that on radar. You can't really see it on the reflectivity, but it's there, just south of Columbus. This is going to be another storm that affects northern Pickens and southern Lamar County.
Well, Spinks, we have that on camera, and this is going to be, I believe, out of Columbus, Mississippi. All right, we're going to get that shot here in just a little bit, but we have a camera down there that's looking at that storm. I don't think they can see the tornado, but we can see the environment around them. But we've got a brand new tornado warning that's in East Mississippi, near Columbus, a new rotation that's popped up. Very dangerous rotation. Let me say that. As Spinks was talking about, very dangerous rotation near Vernon right now. There's likely a tornado with that. We don't have confirmation of a tornado, but I can tell you based off of what we've seen so far, it is likely this thing's producing a tornado. We got a live feed from Reed Timmer, and he is in Columbus, Mississippi, over somewhere in Lowndes County, Mississippi, near Columbus. And again, he is in the very, very heavy rain. This is why we don't want you out there looking for these storms. We don't want you out there looking for the tornadoes, because you know, you just can't see most of these because you're going to be rain wrapped. And if you go out there, you try to look for this thing, it can come up on you in a heartbeat. You can be killed like that. So we don't want you doing that. Notice all the lightning, an incredible amount of lightning from Reed's shot right now. And again, it looks like he's on Highway 82, just outside of Columbus, Mississippi. Either that's 82 or 45 that meets up with 82 in Columbus. He's in that area around Columbus on the southeast side of town. Again, he's where that potential for the second tornado is. And again, that's just something that does not look good for that part of Mississippi. But again, that's a new tornadic circulation that's going to be moving in Alabama after this first circulation moves out of Vernon towards Winfield over in southern Marion County. So let me zoom into this thing and give you a wide perspective of what's happening. We've got a very dangerous rotational signature. Looks like it's right there near Vernon. There's Highway 17. There's Highway 18. It runs over to Fayette. There's Fayette. Fayette's officially outside the tornado warning polygon, but if you live on the north side of Fayette or on the west side of Fayette, you've got to be in that safe place, and that includes the lowest floor of your home. Next up is the community over in northern portions of Fayette County along Highway 171. We're also talking about the southern portion of Marion County. So if you live in any of those communities up there, we've got to get you in that safe place now. So the potential for the tornado really, really close to Vernon. There's your inflow notch coming out of Kennedy. A warm, moist air is flooding into the storm coming out of Kennedy. All right, it's going to be just south of Vernon. Here's where your rotational signature is. More than likely, the tornado sits right there on top of 17. We don't want you driving along Highway 17 between Detroit, we'll call way up here in Detroit, and Millport. Everybody in that area. So we don't want you driving on the highways. Here's a brand new scan. There's your possible tornado about to cross Highway 18. Let me zoom this thing out, give you a wide perspective, because a lot of folks are watching in other parts of the state that may not be under the gun at this moment, but you will likely be under the gun at some point. By the way, the county you see in pink up here, that is Limestone County. That is the civil emergency message that's been issued because of a deadly tornado that went through that part of the state. In fact, this is something you don't like to see. You don't see that very often. They don't want anybody on the roads. They want to try to get the rescue crews where they need to go. Because there's been literally a civil emergency happen in this area. All right, so if you know anybody up here just on the north side of Decatur over towards Athens, there's been a terrible tornado tracked through there a little bit earlier this afternoon. Other storms are lined up from that general area near Huntsville back to Vernon, near Fayette, and then back to Jackson, Mississippi. There's a large tornado on the ground near Jackson, Mississippi, confirmed on the ground. Very dangerous situation for another supercell thunderstorm. Look how we have them lined up here. All across Mississippi. There's Jackson. There's another one down here south of Jackson. There's a dangerous supercell there. Literally all these, just about all of these are producing tornadoes, if not right now, they have in the recent past. So again, we have several tornadoes we have been dealing with today, and we're going to continue to deal with those. Spinks, if you want to pass along any reports you're getting out of this.
Yeah, the National Weather Service in our NWS chat noting that this other storm that is now in Mississippi, it's in Lowndes County, Mississippi right now, south of the Columbus area, that's going to be moving along the same track that this first storm moved on. So we advise all people in northern Pickens County near Ethelsville, Macedonia, and Points North, and also Lamar County, places like Vernon, Crossville, Millport. You got to stay sheltered. There's another storm headed your way right now, and the rotation looks intense. In fact, Richard, over the past few scans, it seems like the rotation has really ramped up just to the southeast of Columbus, State Highway 69, also Mississippi Highway 182 that runs into Columbus there. Perhaps you know someone on those roads. Please call them, let them know this is a potential tornado about to cross U.S. Highway 82 in central Lowndes County, Mississippi.
Yeah, there's no doubt there's significant rotation just east of Columbus, and again, that's going to be moving into Lamar County shortly, so we're going to see another potential tornado move into Lamar County. That includes Millport. That includes the Kennedy area. It's going to be moving the exact same path we've just been telling people, so you got to stay in your safe place. If you lose power in these areas, stay safe for a while, for at least the next 30 minutes, because there's a cell tracking right behind the other. Here's a very intense rotational signature right on top of Vernon. Very concerned about that. That's on top of Highway 18. It's going to be crossing Highway 171 that runs north of Fayette. Eventually, that's going to be crossing Highway 43 as well. So we want you in your safe place in that part of Lamar County and that portion of Fayette County. Let me do a storm track, and I want to show you where this is. And by the way, we're getting multiple TVS signatures pop up on the storm, which is not a good sign. That means our computer data is telling us there is more than likely a tornado with this. Let me get rid of those. Do a storm track on this, and again, your tornado is going to be just, I mean, really close to Vernon, moving northeast just like that. We're talking communities like Guin at 709, Winfield 710, Glen Allen 712, Brilliant 717. Also communities like Eldridge at about 719. Just some of the communities in the path of that. And again, most of those communities are in northern Fayette County. There's not very many communities in this part of Lamar County that this tornadic circulation is going over now.
Yeah, Richard, and just to note, we've got two metro areas, large metro areas under tornado warnings, not in our viewing area, fortunately, but the northern portion of Huntsville, Alabama, places like northern Huntsville, Moores Mill, Meridianville, Hazel Green, Newmarket, and Harvest, all those areas in a tornado warning right now. Also, the eastern side of Jackson, Mississippi has got a tornado warning in effect right now. The NWS National Weather Service in Jackson calling that a particularly dangerous situation. And one change now with our storm that we're looking at that is coming into northern Pickens and southern Lamar County. We've got a now confirmed tornado. The National Weather Service has said in the new statement that was released literally moments ago that we now have a confirmed tornado on the ground, which is on the east side of Columbus and moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. So that's going to ultimately end up in the same exact place where we've had this other tornado warning. So I can't stress enough, stay sheltered in southern Lamar, central Lamar, and northern Pickens County.
Yeah, this is an extremely dangerous situation if you're watching us, again, in the Lamar, just all of Lamar County. If you're watching us in Lamar County, we want you sheltered right now in that safe place, the lowest floor of your home. We've got incredibly, look at the rotation with this, which is incredible. That's coming out of the east side of Columbus, Mississippi, into Alabama. Is this a tornado emergency?
This is not a tornado emergency. The NWS in Jackson saying that this is a tornado reported. However, it's not a tornado emergency.
All right, so we got a report of a tornado on the ground right here, and you can see this couplet, which is incredible. This is the rotation, the wind inside this thunderstorm, and there's no doubt there's a tornado here. In fact, anytime you see those colors kind of wrap around each other, that's always a bad sign. In fact, that is very high indications of a tornado that's going to be crossing just north of Ethelesville. If you're watching us in reform, you're okay in reform. This is going to be northwest of you. Millport, Kennedy, you're going to be under the gun with this storm. Again, these are the same spots that we just told you to take shelter just a few minutes ago. This is a new tornadic circulation right here that's tracking northeast. Eventually, this is going to move into Fayette County. So it looks like we're going to get a new radar scan. And again, still a very tight couplet of rotation right here on the state line of Alabama, Mississippi. This is the northwest corner of Pickens County, just outside of Ethelesville, very close to Macedonia. There's Highway 96 again that we just called to action from Millport back to Kennedy, back to the Alabama-Mississippi state line. There's likely a tornado still here. We had a report of a tornado confirmed on the ground right there on the state line now. It continues to track in a northeast fashion. There's Millport, there's Kennedy. This is going to move into Lamar County pretty shortly. So this is something you don't want to see. We continue to deal with this emergency situation across Alabama. Let me zoom things out because I want to reset things for everybody out there watching, because I know a lot of folks are not being impacted by weather right now, but you will likely have weather impacts over the next several hours, especially later on tonight. It's this moving complex of supercell thunderstorms that's in more of a line now, continues to track southeastward. We're going to continue to have these tornadoes. Some of these are going to be violent. All right. So if you're watching us anywhere over northwest Alabama, along and north of Interstate 2059, that's where the main concern is right now. Later tonight, the threat will shift southeastward. It will continue to shift southeastward for a period of time, but we have these numerous thunderstorms that are producing tornadoes. They're lined up all the way from Huntsville, Alabama, back down to near Columbus, back down to Jackson, Mississippi. A lot of these storms are producing tornadoes, so this is about as serious a situation as it gets, really, quite frankly. All right, if you go under a tornado warning, this is what you do. Once you're in your lowest floor of the home, try to get as close to the ground as you can. Get in a basement if you can, or a storm shelter. Also, you want to stay away from windows, a small interior room. Got to get out of a car. Got to get out of a mobile home. If you're in a car, mobile home, you could easily be killed in a tornado, because a tornado can pick up things like that. A mobile home or a car, they're lighter weight. You got to be in a site-built structure, something that will protect your life within these thunderstorms that are producing tornadoes across northwest Alabama. Spinks, anything new coming out of the storms?
Interesting note, we have now 4 tornado warning polygons in effect for these 2 storms, and understand the critical information that we would like to pass along. If you are in southern Lamar County and central Lamar County, you've got to stay sheltered. Even though you've just endured a tornado warning now for about an hour, you've got to stay sheltered. There's another potential tornado, or confirmed tornado I should say, that's now crossing into the state of Alabama just to the east of Columbus, Mississippi. In fact, for those of you familiar with the Steens community in eastern portions of Lowndes County, Mississippi, this tornado is very near there. This is crossing U.S. Highway 82 right now, north of the Ethelesville area. However, with that said, if you're in Ethelesville or around there in northern Pickens County near Macedonia, stay sheltered. Also, the same holds true in Millport, Kennedy, as Richard said. And also anyone that lives near State Highway, Alabama State Highway 96, that runs from Belk down to Kennedy, down to Millport, all the way to the state line. If you live anywhere near there, you are under this new tornado warning that is currently in effect. And actually, this warning is going to go until 7:15. So, and I would expect that to be continued as this storm continues to show signs of intensity.
All right, we'll go over to our Tuscaloosa tower camera and show you a wide perspective of what's happening across Tuscaloosa. In fact, if you're watching us right now in Tuscaloosa, things are very quiet in the city of Tuscaloosa in terms of active weather, but there's quite a bit of lightning already being seen off in the western horizon. We're looking towards this dangerous thunderstorms now, but we're simply too far away to be able to see the tornado itself, so it's a long distance off towards the northwest Tuscaloosa, where we have these tornadic thunderstorms, and to the west of town. But we have noticed quite a bit of lightning over the past several minutes as these storms get a little bit closer to places like Tuscaloosa. So it's going to be a while before they get here to the city, but understand, in the next several hours, this is going to happen. All right, these tornadic storms are going to eventually move into the Tuscaloosa area. So Places like Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, while it's quiet, relatively quiet anyway, right now that will change, I think, over the next several hours. So again, we've got a long day to go, or a long night to go, and this is why. Check out the temperatures. It's still 80 in Tuscaloosa. It's nearing 7 o'clock now, and it is very warm. It's very unstable outside. And that warm, unstable air is really causing some major issues out there in terms of tornadoes. The warm, moist air is the fuel for these things. It's like pouring gas on a fire. Anytime you get temperatures that warm, you can tell where it's rained, though it's cooler. But we got dew points in the 60s right now. That warm, moist air is serving as that fuel also for the thunderstorms. It creates more juice in the atmosphere that the storms use, and they suck up, and they produce this severe weather.
Yeah, Richard, and I'm getting lots of questions on the Twitter page, on Twitter I should say, and they pertain to the city of Tuscaloosa. Right now the city of Tuscaloosa is included in this particularly dangerous situation tornado watch. However, there is no tornado warning or severe thunderstorm warning in place for the city of Tuscaloosa right now. Now, with that said, things could change and these storms could move off to the south and east over the coming hours, so you've got to be prepared in the city of Tuscaloosa. But right now, no warnings, which is good news.
What is something bad news of Spinks is if we look at the surface winds, and let's look at that quickly. What's happening now, there's a low pressure that's strengthening, and our winds are starting to switch around to the southeast, and that is not good at all because you increase the wind shear across Alabama. When you increase the wind shear, the tornado threat increases. With as much as instability we have right now, we do not want more wind shear, and that's exactly what's happening. We're having more wind shear. So in other words, we're just making the situation even worse in terms of the tornado potential. So I'm afraid we're going to have more tornadoes for a long period of time over the next several hours. And other parameters we look at are very high right now for severe weather across Alabama. So you've got to stay alert for the rest of the evening. We're not trying to scare you. We just want you to understand this is a real threat. It's one of the biggest threats we've had in a long time. In fact, this is the biggest severe weather threat we've had since April 27th.
That's right.
Now, this is not an April 27th event, but you got to understand we had 62 tornadoes that day. It does not take 62 tornadoes to cause a loss of life and property. It only takes one tornado. We've already had more than one. We're likely going to have multiple tornadoes track across Alabama.
Right, Richard. And we just got the new area forecast discussion from the National Weather Service in Birmingham. They note rapid destabilization is happening right now in the warm, moist boundary layer. And what they're saying is, this severe weather threat continues into the night. If you are in any portion of central Alabama, anywhere in range of my voice in our viewing area, you've got to be prepared for severe weather tonight as this severe weather threat kicks off to the east.
Yeah, this is an event that's going to quickly come through. It's going to take hours upon hours upon hours. In fact, we'll likely be on air until well after midnight tonight before this threat ends. So we're going to be on TV for a long time. I apologize for being on TV all day. I'm not trying to be a TV hog. I'm just trying to help you out.
That's right.
Trying to let you know where this stuff's going.
That's right, Richard. And we have one parameter that we look at called the significant tornado parameter, and that's just one of the tools we use to forecast the track and the development of tornadoes. But we note that over the past hour, STP has really ramped up across central Alabama. In fact, just to the north, east of the Tuscaloosa area, we are looking at an STP value of 5. Understand, anything over a 1 is considered significant. So with STP values at 5, these supercells are going to have what they consider a great environment to work with to sustain their energy.
Yeah, and a lot of times I know these values get thrown out there. A lot of people don't understand what it means. It's just basically what you're saying is it's the ingredients, it's what's right for tornadoes to develop. Anytime you see those numbers high, it is very concerning. And you said the numbers are approaching 5 now.
Right.
Let me say this, on April 27th, the numbers were over 10.
Right.
So, again, the numbers aren't as high as they were back then.
Right.
But it doesn't take numbers that high to cause a terrible situation, as we're obviously seeing right now. This is a terrible situation across northwest Alabama, and it's only going to get worse.
And you know what? We're seeing some lightning on our Tuscaloosa tower cam. In fact, let's go ahead and look at our tower cam right now. This is looking to the west over the Strip and over University Boulevard. And we saw some flashes of lightning just a second ago. And those are associated with those thunderstorms just to the west of here.
Yeah, and we're looking west, and as Spink said, that's University Boulevard below you. We're looking towards these tornadic storms that are a good distance west of Tuscaloosa right now. Now, there's no need for anybody in Tuscaloosa to be in that safe place just yet. Just understand that at some point we may call action for your area, for Tuscaloosa, and other areas, obviously, as these storms slowly work southeast. And look, there's a very, very significant threat of flash flooding with this. That is a really high threat. In fact, I'm concerned that if these storms continue training like this, we could have flash flooding in some areas just as bad as we had a few weeks ago. Remember when we had much of Birmingham flood and Tuscaloosa flood? I'm afraid if these storms train like they are now, the flash flooding is going to become a major concern as well. Not only that, but the tornado threat. But again, right now, we're just looking outside with our Tuscaloosa tower cam. And we're just kind of looking at things here. It looks like we got a new information, Spinks, from the National Weather Service. You want to pass that along quickly out of the chat room?
Sure, Richard. And this is a continuation of the tornado warning for Fayette, Lamar, and Marion counties. This is now until 7:30 local time. That's in about 25 minutes. Right now it's 7:05. At 7:03, that's about 2 minutes ago, National Weather Service Doppler radar indicated a tornado. This tornado was located near Blooming Grove. That's about 10 miles to the northwest of Fayette, and it's increasing in speed. It's moving off to the northeast at about 45 miles per hour, Richard. So clearly the threat with this storm now in southern Lamar County is far from over.
Yeah, and it is now 7:05. I'm Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott along with Spinks Megason, the entire WVUA weather and news team. We are in the middle of a severe weather crisis, a severe weather outbreak across Alabama. There's already been fatalities, and I'm afraid it's going to get worse. You're watching us right now on WVUA, Tuscaloosa, Northport, WUOA, Birmingham, WDVZ, Moundville, WJMY, Demopolis. That is what you're watching us on television right now. And again, it's a very dangerous situation across the state, and we're going to kind of pan things out on the radar, and we've got these supercell type thunderstorms that are lined up all the way back to Jackson, Mississippi, and they stretch northeast towards Huntsville, Alabama. This is going to be a long night for us, so hang in there. Once this right here moves past you to your east, this severe weather threat will end. But understand, there's another chance for severe weather and tornadoes tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, about the same time. So this isn't going to be the end of it. I'm afraid we're going to have another severe weather event tomorrow. Don't think it's going to be as significant as this event, but there could be tornadoes and wind damage. So you got to be alert tomorrow as well. We're talking tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. That's when that threat starts. But again, the situation across Alabama, I kind of start you off with a wide view of what's happening. Everybody from Gadsden, Anniston, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, point south. You are okay right now. That will change tonight. Understand, that will change, okay? Understand Birmingham's not in the tornado watch. Gadsden, Anniston not in the tornado watch, and point south. The reason why is because it's moving so slow that it's going to take a long time before it gets to you. So while we have these tornado warnings now for northwest Alabama, we're going to continue to deal with for the next few hours. We've got some video around the area. In fact, we're going to take that and see what we're looking at here of a lot of lightning, kind of dark, ominous skies, and that's what you're going to get with these storms as they track through our state. But one thing you're going to notice, this is going to produce a lot of lightning. So not only is there flooding threat, not only is there tornado threat, there's also that threat of lightning, and that is that can be a killer. That can be a weather killer. Lightning is one of the most underrated weather killers there is. And as you can see in this video here, that is an incredible amount of lightning coming from these storms. So again, that's just a situation we're going to deal with. Go back over to radar, and let's go back into the storms where we are very concerned about across northwest Alabama. Let me give you a closer view of this. We've got several tornadic circulations in Alabama. One of those is right here to the northwest side of Fayette. That's going to be moving into Winfield, Gewen, southern portions of Marion County, northern portions of Fayette County. That's one circulation. Let me go back down to the next one. We got another circulation right here. And I'll tell you one thing, Spinks, that is very, very suspicious right there, just north of Ethelville, about to move over Millport.
Yeah, Richard, and I note that that polygon was actually extended to a little bit farther south in northern Pickens County, but the main circulation is clearly about to enter southern Lamar County from northern Pickens County. And communities in the path of this thing include Millport, Kennedy, Belk, Shaw, Cody. All of those areas. If you're in any of the communities that I just called out, you have got to be in a safe shelter, preferably underground. And also, the National Weather Service in their latest statement noting that heavy rain may obscure this tornado. So, of course, don't wait to see it. Take cover immediately right now.
Yeah, just some kind of notes from the National Weather Service, just what we're observing too. What's happening is, you know, the instabilities are there. The wind shear was expected to be lacking. Even though we didn't need much wind shear, we still expected this to be a big severe weather event. But now the wind shear, because of that turning, remember we got the southeast wind now, we didn't expect that. So the wind shear is literally off the charts. There's an incredible amount of wind shear. These thunderstorms are going to rotate like crazy. They're going to produce tornadoes. They're going to continue to do that. This threat is far from over, folks. So again, this is a major, major concern.
It is, and we've got a new tornado warning. This is for our friends in northern Alabama, communities like Hillsborough, Trinity, Decatur, Tanner, Athens. Of course, Athens suffered extensive damage from a likely tornado that moved through about an hour ago now, but now that community is now once again in a tornado warning, and that warning is in effect until about 7:30. So the Weather Service in Huntsville has opted to issue that warning. In fact, we'll go ahead and take a look at that storm on our radar, and that's going into Limestone County right now in northeastern Lawrence County near Hillsborough. So if you have friends in that part of the world, please call them right now. Let them know that we've got a brand new tornado warning currently in progress there. Don't forget, we've also got our 2 tornado warnings for southern Marion, northern Fayette, and also northeastern Lamar County. This is headed right for Winfield. In fact, Winfield is in the middle of this tornado warning polygon. If you are in Winfield right now, seek shelter. These tornadoes are long track tornadoes and are certainly not lifting. The atmosphere is very conducive and favorable for these tornadoes to maintain their strength. However, I do note that the southern storm that we are watching, in fact, we'll go ahead and look at that on radar. That storm is very near Millport. So if you are in that area, seek shelter right now. Look at this, Richard. Just velocity is just off the charts.
Let me pull radar up on our screen so you can see it.
There we go.
That's incredible.
It is, and that's going to be headed into Millport. The road that runs between Millport and Kennedy is State Highway 17. Of course, you have also State Highway 96 that intersects there between Kennedy and Millport, and also Belk. That's a community in southwestern Fayette County. Go ahead and be in the safe place right now. And ultimately, we have to look downwind. As I mentioned, these tornadoes are not lifting. Ultimately, this tornado could affect Fayette. So if you're in Fayette, you're technically not under a tornado warning at the moment. However, this tornado warning that's currently in southern Lamar County, northern Pickens County, and the southwestern portion of Fayette County could be extended momentarily to include the city of Fayette, Richard.
All right, I do want to mention there's been numerous reports of a tornado that's touched down over in parts of Lowndes County, Mississippi, and if you're not aware of that area, that's around Columbus. In fact, we've had lots of reports of different things, such as even people being trapped in some buildings in there, some houses in that area. So we're working to confirm those reports, but it doesn't sound good for this storm we're watching now that's on top of Millport and Kennedy. I think there's a real chance there's a tornado that is on the ground with that's moving again over Millport and Kennedy. Please seek shelter now. Take the storm as serious as you can possibly do because the ingredients are there. Everything's there for this to produce a large tornado. You got to be in a safe place. This isn't something to joke around about. This is something that you got to take serious. There's no doubt that this storm could easily produce a large tornado.
Absolutely, and just because we don't have the confirmation of that at the moment, the storm that's in southern Lamar County right now has a history of producing a tornado back near New Hope, which is in Mississippi. And understand both of these storms do. They both have a history of producing a tornado near Columbus, Mississippi. Just because we don't have the technical confirmation doesn't mean you shouldn't be in a safe place right now. If you're in a mobile home, you've got to evacuate, get to a site-built structure. Because these 2 tornado signatures continue to ramp up and they continue to move off to the northeast at about 35 to 40 miles per hour, Richard. And you know what, as I say that, I'm gonna cut in because we've got a brand new tornado warning. This is going to be for the majority of Fayette County. This includes the city of Fayette. It also includes Berry, Newtonville. Also included in this warning would be Belk. We've been calling out that community now for several minutes. In fact, the polygon just popped up there on the radar. You can see it. Basically anywhere in Fayette County, you know, the southern tenth of the county isn't included in this warning, but anyone in Fayette County right now, go ahead, get to your safe place because we've got this very strong, very tight tornado signature near Millport moving off to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour.
All right, we've also got some damage reports coming out of East Mississippi around Lowndes County, the New Hope community in that area of some homes damage, also possibly some entrapments. We're working to confirm all of that, but we do have some information coming from that area. It does not sound good at all, and unfortunately, I'm afraid we're going to hear more of this as we continue through the overnight hours tonight, because this is going to be one of those days where we have to deal with severe weather for a long period of time. The ingredients are there. Everything's there for severe weather. There's no reason that the severe weather will stop right now. We've got several areas of rotation we're watching on radar. One across southern Lamar County, one across northern portions of Fayette County. There's two distinct areas of rotation we're keeping an eye on. And let me zoom out of this. Let's see. Zoom out of this and show you a wide perspective and kind of tell you what's happening across Alabama. I know we have a lot happening at the same time, and it can be confusing to some people. In the other box right here that I'm standing in front of, this is the Tuscaloosa tower camera. Let me step out of the view here. There's been a lot of lightning here at Tuscaloosa. In fact, an incredible amount of lightning that's off to our west, and that's associated with these storms that are coming our way. And you're going to notice an increase in lightning as these storms get closer and closer. They're going to sound mean. They're going to sound nasty. These storms are mean and nasty. It's not one of those deals where the bark is worse than the bite. This situation is dire across our area. In fact, we'll continue to deal with this tornado situation. Back over to the live radar, and again, here's what's happening across Alabama. We've got this line of thunderstorms that continues to track slowly but surely southeast. And in the next, I would say in the next 2 hours, these storms should be on top of Tuscaloosa in that general area.
Yeah, Richard, and I do want to note, just because we're seeing a lot of lightning, and that is occurring right now in Tuscaloosa, the rain is still about 25 miles to our west, and the good news is we don't have a tornado warning in the city of Tuscaloosa, but we don't even have one in the entire county, so that's good news. The closest thing we have to that is this tornado warning that we are looking at in southern Lamar County and central Fayette County. Anyone in Fayette County, anyone in southern Lamar County, please be in your tornado safe shelter right now, as we've got this very tight couplet on radar moving through. It's had a history of producing some damaging tornadoes, as Richard has been talking about, and unfortunately it seems like that tornado, that possible tornado I should say, is going to continue to be a threat well into Fayette County.
All right, thanks, Pink. So we have got Lynn in the newsroom. In fact, she is standing by with more information. Lynn?
Richard, Governor Robert Bentley has just declared a state of emergency for all counties in Alabama because of today's severe weather. So Governor Robert Bentley just declaring a state of emergency for the entire state. And now we've been speaking with Johnny Bigham from Lamar County's EMA. He joins us live via phone right now. Hello, Johnny. Thank you for being with us tonight.
How you doing?
We're doing well. The question is, how are you all in Lamar County?
Right now we're doing pretty fair.
Can you give us
several trees down right now. We're under another tornado warning for the southern end of the county, Millport and Kennedy. We're trying to get crews out now to assess damage to see if we have any structural damage.
Okay. Can you specify, Johnny? I know it's very, very early at this point, but do you have any details as for specific roadways where there may be some problems? Maybe we could get that information out to our viewers, some areas for people to avoid at this hour?
Right now, the Fern Bank Road in the Millport area, we know we have several trees blocking that road at this time. We have emergency crews out trying to get them cleared.
Okay, and other than the trees blocking that road, any other areas that you're concerned about right now?
We're still worried about the Millport and Kennedy area with this sixth tornado warning.
Yes.
We don't know what it's going to bring right now, but we're watching it real close.
Have you heard anything in terms of injuries, Johnny? I know it's still a real serious situation for you all, but as a result of the earlier storms, any reports of any injuries? Anybody hurt in your area there in Lamar County?
No injuries that we're aware of at this time.
Mm-hmm. Any information that you would like to, since we've got you live on the air right now with us, Johnny, any information you'd like to get out to viewers while we have you on the air with our viewers this evening?
Yes, I do. Please do not get out and travel unless it is an emergency. Listen to the television, radio, whatever means of information that you have, and take shelter as soon as a warning is issued.
All right, Johnny Bigham with the Lamar County EMA. We certainly appreciate you, Johnny, taking the time out to speak with us and pass along this information. Also, new information in from Pickens County, a Pickens County Road 30, that is County Road 30 on the state line. There is a report of people trapped in some damage in that area. We're working to confirm those reports, but Pickens County on County Road 30 with possible entrapments there as a result of storm damage. But we're live monitoring this situation from inside the WVUA newsroom. And just to reiterate what Lamar County EMA's Johnny Bigham said, if you don't have to be out and about this evening, this is not the time to get out on these roadways, because as damage occurs in various communities, first responders are going to need as much of your cooperation as possible to assist anyone who has had damage on their property. And of course, they want to first be taking care of any possible injuries in and around these areas. So it's still a very serious situation. And again, if you missed the first part of our report here from the newsroom, Governor Robert Bentley has declared a state of emergency for all counties in Alabama. So we are still dealing with a very serious situation and will be for several more hours to come. Live in the newsroom, I'm Lynn Brooks. Back to Richard Scott.
All right, thanks, Lynn. Thanks for the report there. Here's the latest situation across Alabama in terms of where the severe weather is right now. We've got, unfortunately, quite a mess across the western side of the state. At this hour, we've got numerous tornado warnings over parts of West Alabama, East Mississippi, and North Alabama. Our main concern is Lamar, Fayette, and parts of Marion County. Let me take you into those storms right now, and we'll show you the latest where those polygons are. There's a potential tornado that was confirmed on the ground about an hour ago over East Mississippi and has done some damage. Right now, that's right over Kennedy and Millport. That's moving into Fayette and Belk. So if you're watching us, Bankston, Belk, Fayette, and those areas, you're under the gun for that. The northern part of Fayette County, there's another thunderstorm that could be producing a tornado right on top of Highway 171 that runs up to Winfield and Brilliant. All right, Winfield, Brilliant's over in southern Marion County, and also you got to watch out over in parts of Winston County. We could see an extension of that tornado warning, but another circulation right here that could easily produce a tornado, again, is tracking northeast at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. So the motion of the storm's kind of slowed down a little bit across Alabama. So again, that's the situation with that. You got a circulation right here on top of 171. This is for northern portions of Fayette County. You got another circulation down here that's moving into southern and central Fayette County, right here on top of, again, Highway 17 that runs into between Millport, Kennedy, that part of Lamar County. There's your tornadic circulation. It's moving just like that. It will include Fayette, Belk. There's Berry and Bankston sits right there. That's where that tornadic circulation is going to be going over the next hour or so. Again, it's slow moving, so it's going to take a little while for it to get out of here. There's more storms back to the southwest. In fact, let's check out some of those storms now back in East Mississippi. Fortunately, it doesn't look like we have a tornado warning for these over here in around Macon, Mississippi. These are severe thunderstorm warnings. Those do cause concern. They could easily spin down to tornadoes. We've already seen across Alabama this evening. We do have tornado warnings back in the Jackson metro. But Spinks, one thing I've noticed, looks like the supercells are really starting to take on more of a linear feature. I don't see the individual cells like we did a little bit earlier.
Yeah, that's good news, because the discrete supercells seem to be the most dangerous. Those are the ones that can get out ahead of the flow and take all the energy away from this storm system. And right now the good news is, and I say good news, we've got 4 tornado warnings total with this system that's currently moving across this southeast. One in Mississippi in Scott County, which is just to the east of Jackson. That's impacting places like Forest, Mississippi. We've got 2 here in our viewing area, and just as I say that, the National Weather Service in Birmingham has issued a new tornado warning. This is going to be for portions of Walker County as well. So this is until 8:30 p.m. National Weather Service indicated a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado 7 miles south of Glen Allen or 8 miles to the south of Winfield. And we'll go ahead and zoom in on radar if we can go ahead and do that.
Spinks, before we do that, let's take the Tuscaloosa tower camera full, because we've got a lot of lightning here in town. I want to just kind of check things out as we're looking that west direction towards those thunderstorms that are moving our way. We've had a lot of lightning with this over the past 20 to 30 minutes. We noticed a big increase in lightning. And if you're watching us in Tuscaloosa, there's no tornadoes moving your way at this point. Now, there's storms that are coming our way. There's not a tornado that's on a path to Tuscaloosa at this time. Now, that could change. Can't guarantee that's not going to happen. These storms, they're fluid. It's a fluid situation. It's changing pretty quickly. But again, there's a live look from our tower camera here in Tuscaloosa, and that's kind of the situation right now across Alabama. Let's go back over to graphics, and I want to show you this. This is our other weather camera. That is actually on the University of Alabama campus, looking out the windows of the Digital Media Center. By the way, this is our first live broadcast from the Digital Media Center in Bryant-Denny Stadium. We're planning on our first broadcast. You've probably seen some commercials on TV about it. We're planning on our first broadcast being news, but you know, spring in Alabama, it's April and weather happens. So we have severe weather this time of the year, so we actually went on air a little earlier than scheduled. We went on air for the first time at 2:30 this afternoon. We've been on air nonstop since 3:30, covering this severe weather situation across Alabama. And it's been a while. It's been a long evening. It's going to be a long night. We've got a while to go, folks, before we get this over with. But again, there's 2 shots from Tuscaloosa, one of those looking west. The one from the University of Alabama is looking north. Across Walker Champions. One good thing I want to pass along, so far from the Fayette County EMA, there's been no reports of damage. That's good. Of course, sometimes you lose power and damages are delayed. The reports are delayed, so hopefully that'll be the case. In fact, I believe we have a picture of the tornado in Columbus, Mississippi. If we can take that, see what's happening in Columbus. Okay, yeah, we'll get that here in just a little bit. Again, first off, this is our All right, this is one of the tornadoes that was near Columbus, Mississippi, and that is something you don't see very often. That looks more like you see out in the plains. That is incredible, incredibly scary, to be honest. We'll have to get an exact location. That's somewhere around Columbus a little bit earlier this evening, but we've had a lot of damage there, and there's no doubt there has been tornadoes with this. That's just the situation right now. Let me go back over to radar, and here's the latest across Alabama. Again, we've got this line of thunderstorms, and these were individual supercells are starting to become more linear. And what that means is the chance for these large, violent tornadoes will drop a little bit. Now, that being said, do not let your guard down tonight. We still have tornadoes tracking across Alabama. We've had lots of damage. This has been a killer tornado outbreak. We've had, unfortunately, fatalities up in parts of North Alabama near Athens and Limestone County. Hopefully, this thing will just fall apart. The ingredients are still there for tornadoes all night long. I just hope this thing falls apart, but it's not happening just yet. But it is showing signs, and it's showing small signs, becoming less of a tornado outbreak situation and more of a wind damage, flash flood situation. That being said, we're going to continue to have tornadoes for a while. But let me zoom you into parts of Fayette County where we have that active tornado warning currently. that is moving out of Lamar County across Alabama. There's your tornadic circulation just on the south side of downtown Fayette. That's tracking northeast right now. We have another tornadic circulation just on the south side of Winfield in Marion County. That's tracking northeast. Again, that's going to clip northwestern Walker County. That does not include downtown Jasper. That includes places like Nauvoo and Kansas out on Highway 78. When you zoom into that area and you see some of those towns, there's Carbon Hill, Jasper's down here. This is where your possible tornado is going to be, just south of Winfield and southeast of Winfield. Your other circulation is right here. And again, there's still evidence of a tornado just on the south side of Belk. If you're watching us anywhere around Fayette, Bankston, Berry, Belk, I want you in your safe place, all right? And that includes, again, the lowest floor of your home. I want you to put as many walls between you and the outside as you possibly can. That means if you live in an apartment complex, apartment building, or multiple-story house, you want to be down closest to the ground as you possibly can. If you can, get underground, basement, storm shelter. If you know somebody with a storm shelter, go there and stay for a while. Let this pass on by. Again, we have another dangerous tornado situation, a possible tornado right here near Fayette. There's a brand new radar update. There's your little appendage where your possible tornado would be. And I say possible tornado because at this time we don't have a confirmed tornado on the ground. I'm just saying the environment is favorable for tornadic storms. I really think we could easily get a tornado out of this. So far, though, we have not had reports of that. Go back off towards the north. Spinks, we have something new?
We do. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning, and this is a replacement for one of the tornado warnings for southern Marion County. So if, anytime we have a severe thunderstorm warning